My dad, Jay Sekulow, joins us live right now. Of course, we're going to be talking about a big win for the ACLJ.
That's right. We discussed on the show yesterday that big victory out of Ohio where we were defending a pro-life protester, someone that protested against abortion in Ohio in a criminal proceeding, and we had that big win. We wanted to talk to you about, one, just the history of you with those type of cases, but also why it was so important that we had that victory on Friday.
Well, in 1988, we were then called Christian Advocates Serving Evangelism, and we had a case that we took, which was very controversial at the time, and that was representing Operation Rescue, pro-life protests in the 80s and 90s, led by Randall Terry. And we ended up taking, you know that you don't remember this, but your dad would. We had a case in Atlanta that went all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States on abortion protests. We had cases out of Wichita that went to the Supreme Court. Anyways, there was a series of them, and we were successful in both getting the jurisdiction so they couldn't go into federal court in the first place, and number two, ultimately on the First Amendment free speech issues. But what you have is you still have to go back and back and back, and here you go again. And this one in Ohio is unique in this sense. I mean, we've had this happen a few times where you go into criminal court and the defense, we're ready to go, and then the prosecutor, the state, totally folds. I will tell you where it's happened the most on these pro-life cases. Pat Monahan, one of the founders and senior members of the ACLJ, and I tried hundreds of cases just like this in Ohio. We tried them all over the country. And what I'm saying to our ACLJ members is we have to stand. That Roe versus Wade's been overturned, and that's a huge thing. And I didn't know if I'd see that in my lifetime, and unfortunately we did. And that's a great thing. But the fight for life is always on the front lines. It's the crisis pregnancy centers. It's the pro-life sidewalk counselors. It's the protesters. That's the free speech. And that has to be protected. And we went into federal court, or getting ready to go into federal court on a civil rights claim for these individuals. But also, more important than that right now is to understand the moment that your team was ready to go because of the ACLJ members and champions around the country, ready to fight for life right there in Ohio, won the case with a dismissal in court. Now there'll be another series of cases on the civil side. But this is a long history we've had, Logan and Will, on both this issue and, as we started the segment off, certainly in the Middle East.
And so much for religious freedom and for that expression of free speech. I mean, I did, and I haven't even told you this yet, Dad, I did an interview last night, or I sat in on a podcast. It was all about Christian music, and it was just a fun time. The guy right before the host, who is a local radio host in Bakersfield, California, and also is the weatherman there. And before he got on, he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I never was able to tell your dad, but in 1997, me and my students in high school built a 45-foot cross, and they were going to tell us we could not have it on display, and your dad flew out and took care of it for us. We have been doing this for
my time in Bakersfield. I do remember that.
Yeah, so we've been doing that for a long time and a long history, and those stories come up, and we're going to highlight those a little bit later this year as we celebrate the work of the ACLJ, because those stories come up. People reach out all the time who have had these, sometimes they were a one-day experience like he did, where, was never able to reach out after that. But you have this, you have the HHS doing what they've done because they read a blog on our website. The impact is so large. I hope people understand the impact they're making when they support the ACLJ.
Well, you mentioned the situation with HHS, and they go onto our website, which tells you our media advocacy is as important as the legal advocacy, that is getting the information out. So kudos to our team, the media teams that worked on this to get the information out, and then, of course, to get the results. But look, I mean, if you look at any of these cases, if you look at the issue as it relates to the HHS investigation, if you look at the pro-life protesters we're representing it, and say to yourself, as an ACLJ member, ACLJ champion, I'm making a difference on every issue we're talking about.
That's right. And it all changes when you have a more friendly administration. But understand, just because you have that, look, we can say this confidently. When there is a more friendly administration, a lot of times it's harder to raise funds to support the work of the ACLJ, because you may look at it and go, oh, they're fine. Life was protected. Look at what happened. They got a win there for their clients. They don't need us. We do need you, because we couldn't do it without having the best of the best. And like you said, whether it's the media team or our legal team, if we don't have the best of the best, success doesn't happen like it does, and you don't have these opportunities when you have a friendly administration to really get it taken care of.
Exactly right. And that's why people need to go to ACLJ.org, become an ACLJ champion if you can, support our work monthly, or you can make a one-time gift, ACLJ.org.
We are so excited to announce the ACLJ's brand new app, completely redesigned to provide you with the best tools available to partner with us at the ACLJ. You can watch the daily Seculo program, sign the petitions, customize your ACLJ membership experience, donate with the click of a button, and receive up-to-the-minute critical updates that the mainstream media can't censor. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to your phone's app store, search ACLJ, and click install. It's that simple.